3, 2, 1.
Riddick.
No, I'm literally obsessed.
Hey besties! Welcome to Literally Obsessed. It's Cassie.
And Brittany.
How are you guys doing, besties? Hope you guys are having a good day, night, whenever it is. I hope you guys are having fun. Yeah, we are in our Iron Flame. We're in it. We are fully in it. Today is episode 3 of Iron Flame. We will be covering chapters 9 through 12. Most of these chapters, again, are just like super info heavy, so we do have a fun part in chapter 12. But
we got to be honest with you guys.
It's time to be honest.
It's time to be honest. This was a little bit of a rough outline for us.
A little bit, just because so much happens in Iron Flame, and it's actually such a big book that
info dump.
There's so much that goes on that it might not be the most exciting parts. But nonetheless, it's a lot of info that is still pretty important, but we will say it was like kind of hard to come up with some pointers here, but we will do our best.
There's a little bit though at the end. So
stay tuned for the end, please.
Stay tuned. So this episode, we will have all of our different segments. We will have Spilling the Tea, which is just kind of our quick synopsis of all of the chapters. Then we will jump into the deep dive and cover our favorite parts. After that, we have our favorite quotes, where we'll talk about all of our favorite quotes. And there actually was a lot for us not enjoying the chapter so much. There was a lot of quotes. Then we'll move into Thriving and Theorizing, where we share all of our theories for upcoming chapters and all of that. And then we'll move into Final Jam and share some songs that remind us of the stretch of chapters.
As always, spoiler warning, sometimes we talk about like the theories, and that brings up like the entire book series in general. Some theories that like have been on TikTok, so we have a lot of spoiler content, so spoiler warning, and content as well. We do have a fun little steamy part in this one, so especially for this episode, but we do like to talk and say a bunch of stuff that might be inappropriate, so content warning for sure. Cool. Should we just jump right into it?
Let's jump on into it. Take
us
away, Cassie.
Here I go, everyone. For chapter 9. So the Basgiath Running Club has officially launched for Miss Violet. Imogen asks why she's running, and Violet just basically exposes that she just needs the stamina. Real. We get Imogen's POV on how Soleil died, which kind of gives us another look on how Venin channeled from the earth. I had a bit of a quote, but just something to take out of it, just to kind of remind ourselves, is how she was on the Imogen says she was on the ground when she killed her. The way she channeled, it drained everything from the land. So something to just put a note for Venin and how they work. During this chapter, they also attend the first battle brief of the academic year. They have a bunch of updates on recent border attacks. In that update, we find out that 2 attacks involving griffins near the Esben Mountains and the Athbin outpost, which raises the question about like the enemy's tactics, which is pretty sus. Violet is then pushed by recollections, sorry, of her time at Athbin. And this is all found out, and she struggles with her understanding of the real cause of the quote-unquote Poromish unrest. That's how you say it? Poromish? Perfect. Slay. I won that. Violet participates in the study of the enemy's tactics as the briefings goes on, concealing her better comprehension of the circumstances. So she's kind of like touring her like in her own mind, as this is info dumping on herself. Violet was told to keep all her immediate responsibilities and safety in mind when she tries to become more involved, despite feeling very emotionally conflicted, because of course, of Xaden and her brother. During this time, Rhiannon shares how sus she feels about everything odd going on in the healer's quadrant, sparking rumors about prisoners and other healer-related matters. So there's more corruption than we think, not just in the writer quadrant. And our Miss Girl is grappling with the weight of her secrets on the inside, which makes her be low-key a frustrating friend to Rhiannon and brushes off all of Rhiannon's worries with a reasonable but untrue excuse. Not a bestie in these moments. Violet feels like pretty dissatisfied with her studies. She also, I don't know why I said the protagonist. She forces for AI to help you out with it. So not this one. She goes lunch with friends to learn about the histories of human and dragon, the union and peace. So that's what she's kind of going in between, looking at her dad's archives or dad's stories about the Feathertails. In chapter 10, we find out that Mira kills a cadet that poses as an assassin, and it becomes clear that General Sorrengail has adversaries. So a little bit more truth comes out of that. As a first-year cadet murders Nadine, who is mistaken for Violet. People think it is her. Violet is shocked. Violet faces the assassin, and although outmatched by his stature, uses daggers and fighting techniques to protect herself. Violet fights the attacker viciously because she doesn't want to die and let the other people die because of her. It's kind of this whole like mental game she's playing in her head. Violet deliberately hurts. I can't talk today. Violet deliberately. I can't talk.
Deliberately.
Thank you. I can't talk. Hurts her attacker before he puts her to the ground and tries to choke her. This is where things get crazy. Violet stabs the assassin several times with a dagger as she is about to asphyxiate, killing him.
Dude, what the fuck did you use to write this?
I was reading the best summary I could, and I reread it, and I go, I'm going to type it in here using the best words I possibly could, Brittany, okay? So I'm trying to sound smarter. Asphyxiate? Yeah, asphyxiate.
That's crazy.
Because she's
you guys know. Can I see you back here?
Yeah, I can see.
I don't know if the audience knows what asphyxiate.
Want me to look it up?
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to sound smarter as a recent college grad. So I'm trying to be smarter with my summaries.
I was just like, these words are not Cassie's.
Because I looked them up on Google.
No, and that's okay. That one's kind of crazy though.
You're right. Thank you so much for the feedback. I'm sorry. No, thank you.
Go on.
She shoves the assassin's lifeless ass body aside and insists on staying to complete the assessment on assessment day, and in spite of being excruciating agony and having a concussion. She also has like this internal theory that Colonel Ados planned that her entire assassination attempt because of her previous conversation with him, with Xaden, as he was leaving to the outpost. So it's all kind of like coming up in her head. She claims that her older sister experienced similar things and that the attack was a message just to her mother about everything. In this, she reconnects with Xaden, who offers her care and recounts stories from his new position at Samara in a sympathetic but very uncomfortable way because of their awkward situation going on right now. Violet expresses up on how the Academy's desensitization process is making her feel less sensitive to the cadet's death, so she's not really feeling all her issues and emotions. At the end of the chapter, she receives a letter from Xaden implying that they have a closer relationship than what she thinks, and the chapter kind of emphasizes on Violet's conflicted thoughts regarding Xaden, the Academy procedures, and her own like survival instincts from being in the Writer's Quadrant. Take it away, Brittany.
All right, chapter 11. We start at the chapter with the epigraph from Xaden's letter, and he's talking about his friendship with Garrick. And Violet is just head over heels over this letter, and Imogen can tell that something is up. Imogen and Violet have a short conversation about Xaden, but Imogen reminds her that they are not friends, and she can talk to her other friends about this. But then Jesinia shows up with a copy of The Gift of the First Six for Violet. It's one of the earliest tomes that she could find that's allowed to be removed from the archives. Jesinia also lets Violet know that the book is a handwritten copy since the archives don't have anything older than 400 years ago. She is letting her know that they are working on removing all of the dead languages and translating them for easier reading, which is definitely concerning considering how much they are hiding everything. They're interrupted by a second year being dragged by two writers and Markham, and Jesinia worries that that's her fault because the writer requested a book and she recorded the request. Later, Violet is with the gang and they get their letters. She's disappointed to not receive a letter from Xaden, but instead from Mira. And Ree tries to have some friend talk with her and asks what the heck is going on between her and Xaden. Violet tells Rhiannon that Xaden wasn't honest with her, but she has trouble telling her anything else without exposing the truth about what's really out there. Violet realizes that her letter from Mira has been redacted, which is super sketchy, meaning somebody is reading their mail before actually giving it to them. And we skip to being on the flight field where Varish asks where Andarna is and demands that she comes to flight maneuvers next week. Bodhi then walks Violet to Taryn as she I can't talk either, girl.
Yeah, I gave it to you, I think.
I think so. Bodhi walks Violet to Taryn as she prepares to fly to Samara, and he gives her information to pass along to Xaden. Violet is literally wallowing in self-pity, and Bodhi reminds her that he's never seen Xaden like this with everyone, even Catriona. Who is this bitch?
Name drop.
We learned that Bodhi has also been facing assassination attempts, but he got out of them. And they're interrupted by Varish, who is there to search Violet's bag before she leaves. And she realizes that is why Bodhi walked her out. He also shares that Imogen and Aya were attacked today too. And Taryn says that it's a good thing that they didn't check him because they're carrying. And the two launch to go see Sigale and Xaden. Chapter 12. We finally get to Samara, and it seems brutal. They have a man dangling in the air in a cage.
Crazy.
What? The outpost seems to be deserted as Violet walks around and she finds Xaden's empty room. Violet feels the bond between her and Xaden tugging her downward, so she finally reaches a sub-level of the fortress and she hears cheering. She enters a chamber and finds riders leaning over a railing, watching something in a pit below. She looks over the edge to find a shirtless Xaden fighting another rider. And she meets Cornelia. She learns that there is only one weekend pass and the riders have to fight for it. Violet finally speaks to Xaden through their bond, and Xaden wins, of course, and comes up to meet Violet. Violet and Xaden have an intense makeout session after everyone leaves, but then Xaden breaks the kiss so that they don't break Violet's only kissing rule. And even when Violet promises that they can be kind of like a friends with benefits situation, Xaden says no. Xaden, why? Xaden says that he'll kiss Violet whenever she wants to, but that's it until he can get those 3 little words back from Violet. Xaden and Violet are back in Xaden's room, and Xaden is showing Violet the alloy daggers that they are smuggling out of Basgiath. He explains how the daggers are made before they work on building up Violet's mental shields.
Telling you, I don't know why that just felt very info dumpy.
It is very info dumpy.
Very info dumpy.
Yeah.
Let's get into our little deep dive here. Let's head and soar into it a little.
Let's soar.
Starting
like
with
Taryn.
Chapter 9. We've talked about this before, and I don't want to send this down a spiral
I was going to write this down, but I was like, no, Brittany, don't do it.
We have to bring it up because I think this is something that I've genuinely thought about a lot, and it has everything to do with the conversations we've already had on the podcast about what is in this fucking world and how does it work. So they mention ink and quill.
Yes. And
about how, I think, was it Riddick or was it Sawyer? Someone was just like, oh, look at all the first years using like ink and quill. And she's like, well, remember, like, we were also first years once, and now we have like these
magic pens.
What's a magic pen?
Yeah.
Like you refill it with ink?
I think so. Like,
isn't that just a pen? Like a more...
Well, so I was like, okay, so they don't get access to newer technology until they are second years? Until they, like, master their signet? What?
Like, you can move on from... What does using an ink and pen... Or ink and quill... I don't know why I can't say it. Ink and quill. What does that have to do with being a first year?
I'm pretty sure she does mention this in Fourth Wing. And it is something like... They learn to use lesser magic to, like, make it never run out of ink.
Oh. Okay, that makes sense.
But it is, like...
It's just so funny to me.
And then it's, like, now they're calling them pens.
That's what I'm saying. Like, a pen.
Yeah.
Is that a technical
term? They're like,
term?
you loser with your quill. Here I am with my magical pen.
With my Sharpie pen. Like, I don't know. It just, like, doesn't really make sense.
I did see that, and I was like, Rebecca, again.
It's like the toilet situation. Like, do we have... I don't know. I'm not going down that spiral again, but
she actually never talks about a toilet, though. Right?
I think...
They talk about
what
bathing chamber. No, I know, you're right.
Play the clip back.
They talk about bathing chambers, but I don't think she ever says a toilet.
I swear I remember like a toilet.
You talked about the toilets in Akatar.
Oh, maybe that's it.
But they do only say bathing chambers, I believe.
They have a bathing chamber, but they have like a bucket outside.
It's like a little outhouse or whatever.
I just had to mention that because I just think the stationery is just...
No, I know.
It's inconsistent.
I agree. Like, do you think they write on paper? Well, they do. But like...
They do because they send
parchment?
letters. I think it's recycled.
Okay. Like somebody's out there recycling the
They
freaking
put
water.
it on and just washed
I know how
it
to
down.
make recycled paper.
I watched it on the pandemic. I learned how to make it too.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Anyway.
These are our talking points now.
No, literally. Okay, so we do get another reference about how similar Bodhi is to Xaden, but this time she says that their stride is so similar that she has to do a double take. I just needed to bring it up because I just really feel like it's backing up our theory.
Yeah.
Why would this be being brought up so much?
I feel like it'll solidify the theory that we said, how Bodhi will sometimes have to take place of Xaden because he is not able to keep going back and do council meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
So...
But see, my question is like, is it just Violet that thinks this? Is everyone else like, no, we can tell the difference?
I can't remember if anyone has ever made...
I don't think anyone else has ever said that.
...comments about it.
But I guess why would they? I don't know.
Because they know them both.
I also thought about it more.
Okay.
I for sure don't see him with a mullet, personally.
Okay.
But I do see him with...
Let's take out the word mullet. Let's put in
I'm
wolf cut.
I'm not... It doesn't matter.
Shag.
It's still a no for me. That's okay, though, if that's how you see him. I just see him with, like, super, like, curly hair.
Okay.
Is how I'm imagining it. I don't even know if she ever said he's had curly hair. I think he does.
Are we talking about Xaden or Bodhi?
Bodhi.
Both. Oh, okay.
Xaden, I think, has like wavy.
He has wavy hair. I think Bodhi is a little bit more
But I think,
curly.
But
I see Bodhi having a little bit more grunge to him.
No, that's fair.
So I see personally my vision of him.
I respect it. I'm just saying
has a hot, shaggy haircut. With a mustache.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Maybe
I don't
it's just
see
my
him
type.
With
I don't know.
So. I don't see him with the mustache.
I see him with the hot stash. You don't see it at all?
No, but I
no
also
facial hair.
No, I don't see any. I'm also not a fan of facial hair, though.
Not even a good mustache.
Not really. Because think about having to kiss that.
I don't care.
Have you kissed a guy with a mustache before?
Yeah.
You enjoyed it?
It wasn't.
That's what I thought. Moving on.
I enjoyed this. You
enjoyed the kiss, but
I enjoyed the look. The physical part was a little
I just feel like
itchy.
It's just so like anytime guys have any sort, even like if they don't shave for a couple days and it's scratchy.
Yeah,
and you break out because they're rubbing their
okay, you're right.
Their beard all over you.
I get it.
It's fine. I could tolerate a mustache. I cannot tolerate like a full on beard.
I don't think I could do it.
For me.
I think just like the little, I know this is the worst thing to call it, but that's what they call it. It's a porn stash.
No, I fully picture what you're saying.
Yeah, I think I've seen someone on TikTok like this.
I agree.
Yeah, and I'm in love with him.
I can agree that it's like probably attractive.
Yeah.
I just don't see that for Bodhi.
Okay.
I think also especially if she's saying that they look so much alike. She's never mentioned any facial hair on him. And Xaden, we know, does not have any facial hair.
A girl can dream.
No, and that's fine.
And we'll end it there because, you know, maybe realistically they can't have facial hair.
Why not?
I don't know. Imagine having to fight a war.
Dane has a beard.
And it's disgusting. And I'm
sure
sure
it
looks gross.
We know that Dane has a beard.
Sure, it doesn't look good.
So it's only okay when Bodhi does it.
Because Bodhi doesn't have a beard. He just has a stash.
Okay.
But imagine having to upkeep your facial hair while in like a war. You know what I mean?
No, that's fair. Do you think they have razors?
I think that they would have to. Do you think they're like olden day, like like a Sweeney Todd?
Yeah, maybe.
I think so. I don't think that they have one of those like cool razors that have the soap inside of it already.
I just feel like I actually don't think any fan art has fully encompassed what I've seen for Bodhi. Oh, I'm so sorry, everybody. So sorry at home. I don't think any fan art has like encompassed what I'm picturing for Bodhi.
Okay, well, let's just look it up, should we?
We can look it up, but
Bodhi and Xaden.
There is one that I saw for Riddick, and I do stand true that is for Riddick, but I kind of almost picture Bodhi looking like that.
You think so? I feel like Riddick looks more stereotypical attractive male.
You don't think Bodhi's attractive? Like, you don't think he would be attractive?
I think that Bodhi and Xaden are godlike.
Okay.
There's a different level.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to say that Riddick isn't hot. I'm sure he's so hot.
Yeah.
But I think that they're a little bit higher.
Okay, that's
personally.
Fair. Yeah.
Personally. So this is the...
If you're going to show me what your type is... Wait, let me see again. But do you see the hair? Okay, wait, I just have to for the viewers. It's like the most cartoony drawing you could ever find.
Can I show them?
You can show, for the YouTube peeps.
If you guys want to see it and you're listening.
I don't know if they'll be able to see it, but
I'll just I'm gonna flash it. That's what the
maybe
awesome
I'll do a quick zoom in.
Beautiful.
So you guys can see it.
It's just like the worst.
No, I gotta hold on.
This
hold
is
on.
so good.
No. Let me pull up on Instagram. Instagram will.
But the hair is giving what we were talking about.
Oh, I did see this one. Oh, okay. You know what? This is almost what I'm picturing. I wouldn't say entirely, but this is almost what I'm picturing. You don't like it?
No, I love it.
Oh.
No, I love it.
But like,
I love it.
Like the curly, I think
then
he does have like curly, messy hair.
Yeah, because that
Do you
looks
see how it's
eerily similar to Xaden.
It's like
eerily
long.
Damn,
like I do think it's pretty unkept. But I guess I just don't see a
Do you think that
cut.
Violet has already kissed Bodhi instead?
No. I don't. I've seen this one I kind of agree with too.
Because Bodhi's older, right?
No, Bodhi's younger. Otherwise, why would he be at Basgaiath?
Oh.
Xaden graduated.
Oh, that was stupid. Scratch that for the record.
I think I just saw this one recently. Like, I could even see something like this.
Mm.
I fully understand. And you know what? I even understand why you would pick those physical features for him, because it's kind of accurate for his character.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, he gives that like a grungy, like more
that's fair,
but in a different way than Xaden.
I don't know why am I like kind of okay with with Violet hooking up with Bodhi.
Ooh, deep cut.
Not
Brittany.
forever, guys.
I'm sure there's already a fan fiction out there that has
might
that.
be. I'm gonna have to look it up. For sure Violet is going to end up with Xaden. It's fine, everybody.
It's fine. But if we need a little
bit of spice,
that'll break up a brotherhood.
Oh my gosh, what if he's evil?
No, I'm not going to go down that spiral, because I was like, oh my god, can you imagine? Like, no, I can't even put that in the universe, because Rebecca could listen and change the entire
Maybe
path.
Rebecca's our number one listener, and she's like, these are great theories.
Yeah, girl, if you're gonna do it though, don't
it right.
scare us, please.
Okay, well, anyway,
Sorry,
just had to bring that up. Okay, I also need to bring up more of these millennial cringy lines that Rebecca writes. There was another one, but I just didn't write it down. I don't even know if I remember it. But Imogen, this is just so unlike her character too. I think that's what bothers me, is this is not something Imogen would say. But saying things like, yep, apparently we're runners now.
Who would say that?
Just imagine it. Imagine like, you know what it's giving?
It's like, yep, guess that we're runners now.
Do you know that kid? Yes. And apparently I've never been on live TV before.
Apparently I've never been on live television before. It's
like, and apparently we're runners now.
I hated that part because they just kept saying stupid shit like that. I was like,
no, and there's another part. Something stupid is said, and I was like, this is another example, but I didn't write it down.
it was, for me, it was the part where they were saying, like, don't remember we were first years once, and like is like that whole conversation.
It was that,
and I was like,
yeah, just like, guys, last year's we were first years too. Okay.
Disney Channel vibes.
It's just weird. It's just giving Disney Channel.
And I hate it.
I don't know.
Takes me out of the world for a second.
But it just, Imogen would never respond like that.
No.
I think that's what bothered me the most.
Same.
Okay. Anyway. Okay, so Rhiannon feeling left out of Violet and Imogen running together is so sad.
It's so sad.
And you know what, I was just giving, I was reading it and I was just like, oh, you know when you can just like feel your friend slipping away? And then,
I hate it.
Or it's just like you're starting to get left out of like plans. Your friend is making other plans and it's like, well, how come, like, I can do it too. And then they're like, no, that's okay. And you're like, oh, okay.
It's so sad.
It's so sad.
It's so sad. And like, I don't know exactly what Rhiannon says, but she says something like, oh, like, when did you start? Like, she's questioning and she like totally sees through like Violet and being like, why are you now starting to run? And then she's like, well, I don't know. And then she's like, okay, well, can I see you later? And then Violet's just like, later. I'd be so mad.
I'd be mad.
I'd be really
hurt.
sad.
Yeah.
Poor Rhiannon.
And then I think it's like even later on when she's just like, you can talk to me about like what's happening with you and Xaden. Like, you guys are together, right? And then Violet won't even tell her. She's just like, I mean, like, I'll beat him up. I don't care who he is. I'll beat him up for you. You know, it's just sad.
Violet,
like,
you're a bad friend.
Literally, I just feel like, girl, you're really telling me that you can't tell selective truths about this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
why
There's even in like real world, I feel like if somebody's asking something about your relationship, you don't want to tell them the whole truth, but you could tell them a little bit of the truth.
Yeah. You could just be like, I am going through something right now. I just need your like support, but I can't tell you everything. The
way that it pissed me off this entire book that she couldn't be like, we went through something traumatic, such as Liam dying, which they know. Like, I just kind of need to be alone right now. And I don't really want to talk about it. I feel like that's all she had to say. Yeah. And then Rhiannon would be like, okay, I respect your wishes.
But no, she's just like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine.
I hate her.
She's like, how are you I'm fine. You're not doing what you think you're doing, Violet. Yeah, you're actually just being a really bad friend and being exactly the villain that you put Xaden as.
Exactly. I hate her.
I hate her.
Anyway. Oh.
Ooh. Okay. That's a good one.
Professor DeVera saying that the information is received at Basgiath before it's even sent to the king in Caldir. That's wild. So, do you think that the king doesn't know what's... Well, no. Because Arik says that they do.
And I think that... I just assume the reason why it would be as corrupt as it is because Basgiath is... I mean... the leader of the war, primarily because they're building like their entire Rider quadrant. So I just think it's so sus though that it goes before the king.
Yeah, you're telling me the king doesn't get the like first dibs? That's crazy.
And like no wonder all of these professors and these generals have these like power heads. Yeah, because they know. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
I know we're talking with our hands a lot this episode and we keep accidentally like smacking the mic.
I'm very passionate. I don't know, it's very odd to me, and I do see why they would have such a power trip. Like if you knew everything before the frickin' hierarchy.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah. Oh, ooh. Okay. Rhiannon kind of foreshadows. Well, first of all, she is like a brilliant woman, probably like more brilliant than Violet at times. But she knows that the school is hiding something from them. And she kind of foreshadows that Jack is going to show up because she talks about going to the healer quadrant and Nolan looked like dead. And why would that happen? Why, like, for just healing a broken bone, that would never happen. So just wanted to point out that she's pretty smart.
Yeah, and this we like find out because I feel like prior the only part of corruption we've seen was like primarily just through the Rider quadrant.
Yes.
But in this part of Iron Flame, and I think further, of course, we'll see like how corrupt the entire war college is and not just the Rider quadrant, because I mean, even having Jacinia like talk, oh my god, I know, we gotta... My hands are down.
Hands away. Hands down, people.
Jasenia even like kind of exposes the fact that so much has been kept from them.
Yeah.
And for the healer quadrants to just have one primary healer for Jack, it's just sus.
Yeah.
Just all very sus.
Yeah. And then the last thing I have to bring up with this chapter is just the way they just killed Nadine off. That's crazy.
I feel like I didn't see it coming.
No.
At all.
I for sure didn't.
I didn't see it coming. And the way it happened, so
quick.
So quick. So traumatic.
I think, do you remember how Rebecca had posted that one thing and it was like, oh, nope, can't use her. I killed her off. Like,
yes.
I think it was about Nadine. I could be wrong. But I kind of feel like it might be about Nadine because it was just such a... And then they just never talk about her again.
That's interesting. Because I can't think of anyone else who would have been.
Yeah, like everyone has pretty significant deaths. Unless it's just like a random writer.
But I feel like Nadine's like that middle person. Wasn't too significant because like she wasn't like one of the mains forever.
No, yeah.
But
like there was only 5 of them left. That's so scary.
It's so scary.
That only 4 of them are left in their first year, or like from the first years, and it's the 4 friends. Someone's gonna die.
No. I have a feeling like, do you want to put your bets on who's it gonna be? Okay, hold on. Think about it.
No,
and then
because
we'll say it on the count of 3.
Cry.
No.
I actually have 2. Well, oh my god, it literally. Okay. I'll put my person in.
Okay.
Okay, ready? 1.
3. Oh, wait.
Oh, okay.
No.
3. No, let's count down. 3, 2, 1.
Riddick.
Okay, I was thinking
I was gonna
Riddick.
say Sawyer.
I was thinking Riddick at first, but then I thought about how Sawyer is now down a leg. And like that makes him an easy target.
Oh my god.
How do you think their technology works? Do you think he's gonna have like a bionic leg? Is that even possible?
I think so.
I don't know though.
So you think just because he doesn't have a leg, he's like...
Well, I'm just like, can he run? I was thinking Riddick at first though, but then I was like, no, Sawyer is actually like at a disadvantage right now.
He is at a disadvantage. I think I picked Riddick just because he is such a...
He messes around too much.
He messes around. Oh, and I can see how awful that death would be.
Put your hands down.
I'm so sorry to the listeners right now. You just hear a bunch of banging.
I might try to edit them out, but it'll be hard if we're mid talking.
I think it would... I don't think it would... If it would be Rhiannon, I'm done. I'm throwing the book away.
I know. I that's why I was like, honestly, it could be any of them.
It could be any of them. Violet, I'll take her.
You're like, kill Violet before Riddick, please.
please.
Oh,
that's so sad.
That's really sad.
She's gonna kill one.
You think Violet?
No, no.
Oh, Rebecca.
Rebecca is gonna have her hands bloody by the end of the series.
No, truly.
It's gonna be someone.
It is, yeah.
Oh, it could be Bodhi.
No.
It could be
our little shag cut king.
Shag cut king. Oh my god. Okay,
too sad. Let's move on. Okay, so in chapter 10, I would just like to take a moment to acknowledge how strong Violet has gotten. Okay. And this is going to be my one moment of being proud of her because the rest of my notes are all very irritated with her. But she took on this bully who, I think I have the quote written down, but he's very obviously Venom. Mm-hmm. She was able to take him on. Mm-hmm. That's so good for her. Compared to like how she was before. Yeah, literally even a couple months ago, I would say. Even like 1 month ago. Yeah, like it's kind of crazy. She's just got very strong and very strong-minded. Yes. So like equally physical, equally mental. Yeah. So I mean, especially with as much stuff as she's gone through, like pretty iconic. Yeah. So that's all I'll say for the good stuff for her. On the flip side, she immediately goes back to annoying me. Yeah. Because then she gets into her room and she questions she's asking questions to Xaden, but being upset at his answers. So like one of the things she says is like, how's Samara? And he's like, it's different. She's like, no, that will not cut it for me. How do you mean it's like, girl, what do you want from him? And also she could have asked, like, she could have just been like, different, that's all you have to say. And then he could have been like, okay, well, and he does go into more detail, but she like immediately goes on defense about it. It's just so annoying. After this
so
man
toxic.
went and got you food and looked after you because you're concussed and almost got strangled, I'm sorry. I just can't.
She is so toxic in so many ways. And I'm like, Zayden, you deserve better.
Like me. Yeah.
Well,
go on.
I also think that she plays herself with what she tells Zayden, that like of her expectations, and she's always just like, I need the full details, I need every single thing. But then I feel like she's not equally as honest with him.
No, I don't think
in anything.
No, because for this entire first part, or well, like half of the first part, she keeps it a secret that she's even looking up into the first 6. So it's okay for, and I feel like, you know what she's giving is like, have you seen those couples where like one person cheats and then instead of breaking up, they stay with them, but then they're like, well, they cheated, so I can cheat on them. And it's like, I don't know if you've ever run into those couples. I've met a few of those. And it's like, no, just break up if you guys don't want to be together. And just because they cheated on you doesn't mean you can go back and cheat on them. Like, you should have just broken up. It's giving that where she's like, well, he has a secret, so I can have a secret.
Like, that's not
how it works, girl. And here you are demanding full transparency and not doing the same for him. And guess what? He can probably tell because he's reading your fucking mind.
So at the end of the day, you're not actually doing anything.
No. She's so annoying.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say too that he has so much patience with her.
So much patience.
But I don't know why. Like, I know why, because obviously he can read anything regardless of what she's thinking. But I'm just thinking, like, I could never be that patient with someone who's actually pissing me off 24/7. But he just finds it hot a little bit, I think.
I don't know. Maybe he's like kind of toxic. He loves arguing. Turns him on.
That's hot.
No.
It's not.
Okay.
Anyways.
Well, okay. So on the flip, I'm really roller coastering right now. It is cute of them to have this little moment, and it just reminded me of something else, but cute of them to have this little moment of like sitting on her bed and talking, and then Zayden being turned on by her just brushing her hair. Hot. I want to have that power.
Hot.
And be like, what?
What'd you say? What'd you say? What'd you say?
Yeah.
And then it just brought me, then I think it's in my like little quotes, but it's about the quote of him being like, anytime you want me to win an argument, you just let your hair down.
Yeah.
What's it about? I don't know why he's like so attracted to her hair.
I do feel like we got to do a survey to the male population.
Yeah.
Like, does hair turn you on? And if so, why? Let us know in the comments down below.
Specifically long, half silver
long
hair.
I don't know. I feel, you know what I did see though? It was something on TikTok where it was saying like he acknowledges her weaknesses and loves them. Like she's always hated her hair, but he's like so in love with her hair. It's cute. But also I wish I had that power over him. Anyway, it reminded me of the other cringy moment, which was later on in chapter 12. They're doing the same thing where she's sitting on his bed and then he's like messing with a crossbow. And then she's just like, I can't help but love this little routine we do. Me on my bed brushing at my hair and Zayden preparing a weapon. And I'm like, right. Because I find myself in those situations all the time. What? Rebecca, what? It could have just been like, I can't help but love our little routine of like coming together at the end of the night and talking about our day. Like, I don't know. I
just
literally
sounds
have to,
so
it's
weird.
Like Zayden preparing a weapon while I brush my hair.
A day in my life of me and my boyfriend as he's preparing for war.
Literally. And then at the end of the night, guys, Zayden prepares a weapon.
Yeah.
And I brush my hair.
It gives off so
I gotta
cringy.
read it to you later, but it's just really cringy. I hated it. Oh, okay. So Violet says that there's a knock at the door and it scares her, but not Zayden. Do we think, well, we find out it's Bodhi. Do we think it's because he could hear Bodhi coming, like literally hear his thoughts?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, that's what I think. I know that he
sure.
is expecting him because he does open the door and he's like already. So I guess to some degree, maybe I'm overanalyzing.
No, but I think I see where you're coming from too. I think Zayden already kind of has like a preemptive thought of what someone's intention is coming into his conversation with them. So I could see totally where he would be able to read his little mind before he walked in.
Interesting.
He's used it on everyone. I also would be intrinsic to everyone too.
No, I would too. I'd be like, I'm not reading your mind.
Can he turn it off?
I think, okay, I have questions about this, but Rebecca said that she chose chapters 9 and 16 to write his POV because he had his shields up because he still has secrets. So she had to pick scenes where his shields were up.
Oh, so
when he puts his shields up, he can't use it.
Interesting. That seems opposite.
But I guess it makes, well, I don't know. Because there is a moment later on where Varish does talk about how his shields slipped. And he was able to get Xaden's, because he can tell your desires, right?
Yeah.
Or your
like inner
wants
or something.
So he can tell what Xaden's is, and he talks about it, I think when he's torturing her, like, oh, even like the strongest wing leader or whatever, his shield slipped, but we find out later it's because Xaden tried to read his intentions for a second. So I guess it makes sense.
Yeah,
but
it's
I
a
don't
weird way of
agree
magic.
With that,
it's a weird way of doing it. But you would think that his way of reading someone's mind would just be when he's focusing on them instead of just like
having to like open his shields, because that's kind of vulnerable.
It is.
I guess that's how they control them to some degree.
So scary.
Nature likes everything in balance. Maybe that's what it is. He's taking information from somebody else, so he has to lower his shield so somebody could take information from him, or like he's kind of exposing himself.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think that was like a very scientific thing you just came up with right there.
Thank you.
That was science.
Came from right up in here.
All up in there. I loved it.
Xaden warding Violet's room for her to bring anybody in, but his room is only for him and her.
So cute. I'm so glad we got there.
We got there. We cut it out, but that took us about 5 minutes to get that sentence out.
So sorry. Can't talk. Anyways, so cute and sweet.
It
means he's cute. Dedicated.
Yes.
And he's like, you don't have to be dedicated to me, Violet, but just letting you know, you're the only one allowed in my room. It's your room too, babe.
Yeah.
Do you think he would ever call her babe? Is that a baby name that he'll have for her? Or is it always gonna be violence?
Well, there is that one scene where he calls her love, and it's like really out of character. It's so cute though.
Love.
I would love a little babe.
A little babe.
I think it'd be cute.
It'd be so cute.
Yeah, I support it.
I support a babe.
That's like it though. I don't love pet names. Babe is kind of where
babe is
like, that's a standard.
Honey.
Imagine. I don't see him calling her that. I could see him calling her like baby.
Ooh.
That's kind of, you know what? Okay. I saw this TikTok of Justin Bieber. I know, don't get me started. I'm really sad. But it was him asking, fuck, I'm so jealous of Hailey Bieber. But anyway, it was him, like, he put on a backwards hat. And then he's like, what do you think about this hat, baby girl? I loved it. And then she's like, I would die for you in a backwards cap. I was like, me too, bitch. Me too.
This is Brittany's official threat.
This is a threat. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, she's pregnant. I don't want to attack a pregnant woman.
It's true. It's
but
true.
I just know you have a hater.
Just know if all your haters are dead, Brittany's gone.
Just know. What was that one TikTok? Don't get too comfortable, sweetheart.
I had him first.
I was his everything once too. Insert the picture of me with the Justin Bieber.
You have to pull that up.
Oh
you have
my
to
gosh.
pull that up.
Have I shown it to you?
No, you haven't.
I'll have to show it to you. I showed it to John and he was like, Brittany, this is embarrassing.
I can't wait to see it. You don't understand.
Okay.
Fangirls at heart.
No, I really am a fangirl. Like, and I don't think it'll ever leave.
Nope.
And that's okay. Anyway, my point of saying that was I think it would be a little hot if he called her baby girl.
I don't know if I could handle that.
You know what I mean?
It'd be really
in the
cool.
right sense.
Context, yeah.
Right, context, it would be kind of hot.
If you just said it just randomly, I'd be like,
No. It would have to be in
like a heated funny, moment, silly, heated argument, but kind of sensual way.
I can see it. I'm writing the book for you, Rebecca.
Here it is. Laying it on the table.
All right. Anyway.
Oh my God. I forgot we're at this point.
Bring it up.
Xaden writing love letters.
Yes, so cute.
She got this man
to write her
a fucking love letter.
I know.
This man.
And even his friends, who is it? Is it Imogen? Like, she's like, what the fuck? He wrote you a love letter?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He, like, really hides his personality from his friends. And
That's
then
kind of sad.
Sad.
I mean, I don't know if he hides his personality. I think it is just, like, he feels like he has responsibility over these people. So he has to...
Well, he has to show a little bit more authority.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Yeah.
But with Violet, it's all out the window.
Yeah. Oh.
And she's taking this bitch for granted.
No, truly.
I love how we always circle back to
how much. This is all Violet's fault.
It is.
Literally, oh my God.
Continue.
My next few points are just about.
Yes.
Okay. Well, quickly, just want to bring up, it's crazy that the archives don't have anything older than 400 years ago.
Right?
That's wild to me. And I don't know where they keep, like, all of their documents. Is it Basgiath? Like, for Navarre?
Well, I feel like they would want to keep their own documents.
Because that's just kind of wild to me.
Mm-hmm.
I also, like, have a lot of questions about... Basgiath is obviously a war college.
Mm-hmm.
Is it also, like, a province?
You
know what I mean? Like...
I think it is, right?
There is no school here. Well, actually, I don't know. Is it similar to, like, Harvard Medical Center?
Where they...
You know what I mean? Like, USC?
Yeah.
Like, where... that's where, like, a lot of our high-tech med is and
stuff. No, that's fair. I feel like it is its own little province.
So it's just kind of weird to me that, like, this whole continent of, like, or whatever, of Navarre would be like, yep, we trust this college to withhold all of our information. That's crazy to me.
But why only 400 years, though? Where's the other...
I think something happened. I think they must have, like, burned it or something. Because something crazy happened, like, 600 years ago, right? With the Venin, so...
There was a theory I saw about that the other day. About 600 years. I'm gonna have to think about it as we're talking, but...
Okay.
Let's continue.
Okay. Well, her dad writing about feather tails, what do we think about that?
I want to know why he was fascinated with it. I want to know what... I want to know.
Okay, and I guess my question is... feather tails are just supposed to be baby dragons?
Yeah. They're supposed to be before they are able to be bonded with.
Okay.
That's why it was like...
Because... Okay, I just think I'm a little... Because obviously Andarna is a different breed. But everyone knows that she's a feather tail and that's okay. It's rare that they're bonded, but it's like, oh, you're bonded to a feather tail. I don't know. I just think it's interesting to me. Like,
how is... when you other people have bonded with a feather tail before, haven't they already had their growth spurt?
Well, that's what
like
I'm saying.
Afterwards?
So, like, is it like calling, like, a feather tail as a puppy? Whereas a dragon, or when they get their other tail, it's like a dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know why he was fascinated with them.
He has to know something.
Or it had something to do, because we always say that Andarna was something that, like, or there's something out there that killed off the Venin 600 years ago. Right. And we always, like, thought it was possibly Andarna because she had been in this entire slumber for that long. Maybe he, like, her dad knew that it had something to do with a feather tail that was the one that
maybe
took him off, or got rid of the Venin all those years ago, and he was so fascinated with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Something is weird. And then Varys is just kind of like, oh, coincidence. And Violet, like, is like, it is a coincidence, right, Taryn? And Taryn's just like, I don't know anything about your father's research. You liar, Taryn. Yes, you do.
He just doesn't want to.
I think he's a liar. I'm a hater.
He's a selective truther.
He's a selective truther, for sure. Okay, but Violet saying for, like, the millionth time that if she died, it would be an inconvenience to Xaden. I'm sick of it.
Pick me, girl.
I'm just so
she's a pick me
literally
girl.
Bodhi is like out here being like, I've never seen Xaden like this. He cares so much about you. And then she's like, right, because if I died, it would be an inconvenience. Shut the fuck up, Violet. Oh my god, Bodhi is probably like, this bitch is, and I'm out here putting my life on the line for her. I would literally be like, hey cousin, she actually doesn't like you. Yeah, like we can move on to a different girl.
I don't know why she constantly always brings up her fucking death and how like it would be so nonchalant to him. And I'm like, do you not remember how he reacted when you literally almost died?
Apparently not.
You were like dead low-key for 3 days. And you don't remember how he felt afterwards?
Apparently not.
Stupid girl.
I hate her. Jojo, have you learned nothing?
What are you? An idiot sandwich, bitch.
She is an idiot sandwich.
I hate her.
Speaking of idiot sandwiches,
no,
we get a mention of Catriona. The first mention.
Crazy name.
Crazy name. She sounds like a bitch.
Catriona.
If somebody was like, my name's Catriona, I'd be like, oh,
you're a little
shit.
bitchy.
Yeah.
I see who you are, girl.
I can tell. Yeah.
When does that all happen? Is that coming soon?
No, it doesn't happen for a while.
Towards the end of part 1, right? Or is it in part 2?
I think it's in part 2.
Shut up.
Yeah, we like don't the way. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. When Bodhi's like, any chance you'll forget that? She's like, absolutely not. She goes to fucking Samara, doesn't bring her up. I would have been like, by the way, your cousin told me about Catriona. Who is this bitch?
Who is she?
Who is she to you?
Why am I saying her name?
I would have brought it up.
And she's like, I need all the answers.
The one fight I would have supported.
Yeah.
And she doesn't bring it up.
I can't wait till we get there because that's going to be a prayer.
That's a little cat fight, literally. Cat fight.
That is a cat fight.
Yeah.
Catriona.
I don't know. Anyway, I hate that bitch. But
hate her. But she does say some funny, crazy shit. Like, no, crazy
I
shit.
do kind of have to support her a little bit. What's up with the guy in the cage?
Can I tell you what I envision it?
Yeah, please.
Okay, can I tell you? Do you remember Miley Cyrus's Can't Be Tamed music video?
Uh-huh. Oh, okay, because the thought that I just had was a little different. Go on, though.
Oh.
No, go on. And then I'll share mine.
Well, I obviously think it's a smaller cage, but I envision it as, it's weird to me how he's hanging from the ceiling.
Right. Well, that's my question.
How did he get up there?
Do we think, she says he's in infantry colors. Do we think he's on watch, or do we think he's being held like prisoner?
If
do
he's
we think
on watch,
he lost a bet or something? This is pretty like a cutthroat outpost.
Imagine showing up for your 12-hour shift and you're like, hey buddy, today you're on cage duty.
You're in cage 4.
Like you gotta get up there and watch the fight.
Okay, because you know what I was thinking? Did you ever watch a series of Unfortunate Events?
No, I've never watched it.
Cassie, really?
I've never watched it.
I love that movie and I loved those books.
I've seen clips of it before.
Okay, there's one part where they hang Sunny, who's like the like baby. Mm-hmm. They hang her in a cage, and it's because I don't know, they're just keeping her a prisoner. There's a lot of context into why this is happening.
Okay,
we'll have to watch it.
Okay.
But they like end up the kids outsmart him, obviously, and like you probably don't even understand what any of this means, but the kids outsmart him and then put one of his little henchmen in the cage, but the cage is made for like a baby, so he like barely fits in the little cage, and he's just like up there hanging, and he's like, hi, like they locked him in there, and that's what I'm picturing is this guy is in this cage that's too small for him, and he's just like,
oh my god, that's probably exactly what it looks like.
It's like a little round bird cage.
Yeah, like a round bird cage for sure.
Yeah. I can't believe you've never seen that movie.
Okay, I know. I'm going to have to watch it. We'll watch it.
So, do you like Jim Carrey?
I love Jim Carrey.
Okay, you would literally, this movie is so, it's like probably you're going to be like, what the fuck is this character?
I love weird things.
But you're going to love him. And
I'm excited.
He improv'd a lot of the movie too, so.
Beautiful.
Oh my god, like
we so much about it.
Put it on today, actually.
Okay.
It's like, I love it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I just don't know, what's the like, why?
Yeah, I would like, and then Violet's just like, huh, whatever. Anyway.
I'm like, I would be staring for a while.
Like, are you okay?
Or ask Xaden and be like, who's the guy that's up there?
Yeah.
How long is he there for?
Yeah. The rest of the quadrant is like abandoned.
Instead of this guy hanging in a bird cage?
I don't know.
Wild. Weird. Ooh, this is a good point. What's the story with Mira and Cornelia, and why did Mira punch her?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Like to the point where she left a scar?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It was a big scar,
a ring
too.
On, maybe?
Ooh. Come on.
Come on, Mira.
Come on, Mira. Hold your weight. I don't know. Because we didn't get any backstory on that for a little bit, right?
No, and it never gets brought up again.
How many other people have Mira, like,
punched?
Uppercut?
Probably a lot.
Probably.
I just want to know what happened. I mean, maybe it's just like they practice sparring. I don't know. Maybe it's not a big deal, but
I don't know. Mira's very overprotective, so maybe something happened. It was brought up to Cornelia and just...
Yeah. No, that's fair. Well, anyway.
Did I tell you that my mom started reading this book?
Yeah.
She, like, genuinely texted me yesterday.
An update?
An update.
What part's she at?
Or when I called her, she was telling me about how she can't pronounce, like, Bazgaiath. And she goes, what's the guy with the X name? Aiden? And she was like, is it like silent? I was like, it's Zayden. And
like a xylophone mom.
And she's like, I got to chapter 5 and she's like, Dane and Zayden were talking in the rotunda, and I was like, oh my god, she's actually paying attention to it. And for this thing you're about to say right here is where I'm gonna get real scared for my mom to read.
My mom said she wants to read it too.
I think both our moms should read it.
Put them in a little book club together.
Yes.
I told her, I said, Mom, who am I to deny a woman the chance to read a book, like in a book like this, you know,
right?
Like you're at the end of the day, we're all just girlies.
Yeah,
we all want to read a cute little romance book, you know, so like who am I to deny that? It's just the fact that like I just don't want my mom to make the correlation that I have also read this. But it's like, granted, I don't know, my mom's like, okay, so what, like I tell you to watch like Game of Thrones or something and it's the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's fair, Mom, but
it doesn't feel awesome when I know she's about to read a scene that I have literally gawked over.
No, I know. Even like I like don't even like really cuss in front of my mom that much. Stuff like, I don't know. And she's always
I'm innocent in her mind.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't drink. She's always like, why are you afraid to? I'm like, I don't know, Mom. It's just like weird.
My mom's funny and she slightly judges me, but I think out of just like a fun way.
Yeah, my mom humbles me for sure.
She's a humbler. Yeah. And for her to read something like this and listen to the podcast, which I'm sure she's probably gonna listen to this too. Hi, Mom. And to say the point that we're about to say right now, it's just,
maybe it's just something else for you guys to bond over.
I think so. It'll be a new point of our relationship. I think
entering a new chapter.
We're maturing in our relationship.
So the point is that Violet was saying that she was turned on by watching Zayden fight.
And she's right.
Because the way that we had like a 10-minute conversation about this before. Because it actually brings me into my next point. Which is so good. Zayden running his tongue over the cut on his lip. This man literally has me on my knees.
I'm gnawing at the iron bars of my enclosure. Let me out of that cage and
I can picture it. I picture it so well. Even she says that there's a point where he like thumbs the blood off his lip.
I can see it.
Why am I need to be locked up. Why am I finding that attractive?
I need to be locked up. I need to be sent away for the thoughts I have. The way.
Because I can picture it. It's hot, guys. Like I actually need to be there to direct this scene when it gets made into a show. I'm going to be like, no, let me show you how it's supposed to be.
Okay, you know what? This might stem from an internal memory that I have of being like, it was like one of my sexual awakenings. When I was like, you know, watching the As Long As You Love Me, Justin Bieber.
Yes.
And when he got beat up. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
And he does
thumb away
he does something to his face and it's all bloody and something.
I remember.
And I remember just being like,
I actually watched that recently. The reason's not important, but
You don't need to put that on the
Just kidding.
table on the record.
No, I don't know.
I think
was
that's where
just
it stems from for me.
I remembered, like, that's a hot music video. Let me look it up.
Wow, like that's so crazy that he just got beat up like that, and he's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
I just had to bring that up for all you believers out there.
Shout out to this is a Justin Bieber heavy episode.
You brought him
Let's
up
keep
a lot.
it going. Okay, but Xaden saying that, like, he doesn't want to use sex as a way to get Violet to say that she loves him, and he's like, not when I want to be here, and he, like, touches her chest.
I was just saying, like, how sweet. Like, he doesn't want to use her for her body. He just wants to be loved.
No, I know.
And she's not even giving that.
I know. Well, actually, okay, that does lead into my next point. Why does Violet have to ruin everything? Because this was such a sweet moment of him being like, hey, I can sleep with you, but it's not going to make you look at me the way you used to. Like, I'm not going to use sex as a tool to get you back. I don't want to be friends with benefits. Like, I want to be something more with you. And then she just is mad because then he's like, oh, I'll kiss you whenever you want. But that's it. And then she's like, whenever I want. And he's like, yes, whenever you want. And she gets mad about it.
I don't know why she's so pressed about it.
Why is she upset?
Because I feel like she doesn't really know what she wants at the end of the day.
Yeah.
She doesn't really know what she wants. She always goes in circles about the expectations she has for him. And so it's never adding up and it's never enough.
It's never enough.
Stupid bitch.
I know.
And they had a passionate makeout scene.
I know. I was just going to say, we realized that we kind of skipped over the makeout scene.
It was
passionate.
Hot. It was hot. It was heavy.
Yeah.
It was a good 12 chapters into the book. We had nothing.
Yeah.
And now we have something to kind of hold on to a little bit.
Yeah. That's also where we get the iconic line. Did you write it down?
Which one?
It's like a very long, drawn out line about like it's the one that we had you read for the TikTok. Where we bleeped it out.
That's in here?
Yeah. I can read it for y'all.
Wait, I think I took a picture of it.
I've moved on. I can read it. I mean, should we move into our quotes?
Yeah, let's move into our quotes.
Okay, because this can start us off. Let me find it. Hold on. Because I did highlight it. Okay.
Oh, I have it right here.
All right. So.
It's part plea, part moan.
Uh-huh. I'll read it. So you had to read it last time. I'll read it.
God.
They're making out. It's a hot and heavy makeout at this point. Fuck. Okay.
It's hard, dude. It's rough.
It is hard.
It's really rough.
All right. It's fine. They're just words. You can't let them affect me. Okay. Violet. It's part plea, part moan. And the war in his eyes makes my chest tighten. You have no idea how badly I want to peel these pants off your amazing ass and fuck you until you're hoarse from screaming my name, so limp from orgasms that you can't fathom leaving my bed ever again, and every tree around here goes up in flames from lightning strikes. His hand slides from behind my head to the nape of my neck until you remember exactly how good we are together. Xaden, what the fuck? That's the one time I don't think I can support you.
Him, oh my god. Okay, personally, realistically me,
yeah,
I'd be out. I'd be like, all right, we're good, we're done. Because saying so limp from that would be like be
a little bit of an egg.
Which, I mean,
he kept going.
That's what's the issue.
He kept going.
That's the issue.
He didn't have to keep going. It just it's a line that never ends.
It's a run-on sentence.
It's a run-on sentence forever and ever and ever.
If you say it like fast, it just sounds really intense.
Yeah.
Like it's just the key highlights I have are peel these, horse from, limp from, can't fathom, part moan, part pleat. Like those are really intense description words that he used. Sorry, mom. Yeah, no, whatever.
All right, what's your favorite quote, Cassie?
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much for asking, Brittany. Crazy. Some of these I'm not going to go over because I feel like they're just super small and I don't even remember why I brought them up.
Oh, okay.
But there's one in chapter 9. I think Violet, I wanted to bring it up because she just annoyed me with this, being like, more than anything, I want to talk to Xaden. I want answers he's not willing to give me. You actually kind of rebutted your own sentence here, girly pop. Whatever. Just needed another proof that I hate her.
No, that's fair. This one we kind of already talked about, but just the guy who she fights the first year, his eyes a light brown but rimmed with red as though he's on some kind of drug, which is a pretty solid hint that he is a venin. Yeah.
A venin. My next one, I'm just going to combine these because I think they're all in the same-ish area, but it's all chapter 10. It's about her interacting with Xaden after she had just been concussed. She says, his hands fall away and I immediately mourn their loss. And then he goes like, look at you asking questions. And then this one, I'm just going to say real quick, it's wanting you to ask what you want to know isn't a game. You and me, not a game. Man wasn't playing around.
No.
He wasn't playing around.
No, not in the slightest. Okay, the next one I have is from chapter 11, and Varish is like, oh, love the necklace you have, because she was strangled, so she has like a bruise all around her neck. And then she just says, thank you, it was expensive, cost someone their life.
That's bad.
That's
bitch.
pretty. Yeah, I'll support her in this one.
That's bad bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Fucked up of Varish to be like, I like your little necklace.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
I know. But I love the response.
Yeah. She ate with that.
Yeah, she really did.
She did.
Next one is from chapter 12. And okay, I brought this one up because I just want to dissect it real quick. Mm-hmm. So it says, I'm so damn in love with him that it hurts. And for the moment, I can't remember why I'm denying myself. The writer on my left shouts and Xaden's gaze jerks upward, colliding with mine. Do we think Xaden looks up because the writer shouts, or do we think that he heard her say that she's in love with him?
Yep.
Okay. That's what I think
because
too.
I think recently I've thought about this quote, I think on a TikTok I saw.
Mm-hmm. Like he lowered his shields for a minute and
he heard, I'm so damn in love.
Yeah. And then he gets punched. So that's the thing actually, is if a writer was shouting, everyone's shouting at this point.
Everyone's shouting, yeah.
It wouldn't have been enough to distract him. I can understand him like, I can't. I'm rebuttaling myself. Because even if somebody shouted, he wouldn't have acknowledged it. But it's like, I could understand him seeing Violet and being like, wait, what? Yeah. But he wouldn't look because somebody shouted. So I think he heard,
Absolutely.
like, I'm so damn in love with him. Violet's here.
Huh?
And then he gets punched in the face. Splitting the lip, leading to the...
Thank you. So thank you, Violet. I think the next one I have is from chapter 10 2. It says, it's all part of the process of turning us into effective weapons. And don't forget for a second, that's the mission here. Just a little exposing Basgaiath for a little second. So, but I was like, turning us into effective weapons. Ooh.
That's fair. Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. My next two kind of go together. I can just say them together.
Mm-hmm.
So both from chapter 12, both from Xaden. First, he says, tell me what's spinning around in that beautiful head of yours. Oh my God, I'd be on the floor. But then going along with that, he says, what are you thinking? Because I can read a lot into the way you're looking at me, but I'm going to need the words. It's so cute.
The way you're looking at me. Yeah. The
know.
way that he's so
scrumptious.
Yum, 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 yum. I think he also says this too in chapter 10. I think he goes like, every time we're together, we're training or fighting. I don't know who says this actually. There's not a lot of time for long walks by the river or whatever passes for romance around here.
Oh,
I don't know who says that though.
I think it's Violet. Well, no, actually. It's Rhiannon. It's Rhiannon.
Okay. But I was like, that is kind of... Do they do little long walks by the river?
I know. Probably not.
That'd be kind of cute.
It would be cute. A little date.
No, a little date
on the flight field.
And then the last one I have is very small. It's from chapter 12. I think this is when she's like yearning for him. She's like a moth to a damned flame.
Yeah. I do love that part also because I think that he misinterprets because she talks about it earlier like, oh, I'm like a moth to a flame with him. And then she like lets that slip and thinks it. And then he says like, oh, I would gladly let you burn me. And then she literally goes like, wait, that's not anyway.
I get it, Zayden. I've had many moments like that where
like
I misinterpret.
it's like no, I'm the okay, whatever. Let's
man,
move on.
actually, whatever.
Yeah, like we're in a heavy makeout session. Doesn't matter.
Awesome. I think that was it for quotes.
Yeah. Okay, let's move into thriving and theorizing. So we didn't come up with this stretch of chapters really didn't have that much for us to theorize off of. I just wanted to bring up we kind of already talked about it, but there's the mentions of Bodhi resembling Zayden. Yeah. So, our continuing theory that something is going to happen with that for sure. And I know it's revealed in the end, but we just got a lot of hints about Zayden being intrinsic in this stretch of chapters that I didn't realize the first time. But there's like a lot of hints about it. So
yeah, especially I feel like once she goes to the outpost.
Yes.
Is when I feel like it kick starts a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. The theory, it'll get crazier towards the end, I feel. For sure. Let's go into final jam. Let's do it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. So we have a pretty good amount of songs for these.
I would say
so first up, I kind of just added this because it became kind of big on TikTok. But in case you don't know who Joel Sunny is, he is like a violinist. That's what they're called, right? Violinist.
Yes. As a violinist.
Yes, there we go. So he wrote the song Luminary, which is like very popular, and a lot of people use it for ACOTAR. I was waiting for him to come up with one for Fourth Wing, and it's actually one that he already released, but I guess it didn't get a lot of views, and so he's kind of bringing it back up like it could resemble Fourth Wing. So just had to bring that up that the vibe fits.
Thank God somewhere. We have something like that too.
Yes. So really like that one. Then I have Would That I by Hosier. I don't exactly know where this would fit in, but just the vibe kind of fits. It's like a calm song. I could definitely see it being played in the background. Like maybe when Zayden comes to visit her and they're talking and she's like hurt, I could see it playing there.
Oh.
And then my last one is Young and Beautiful by Lana Del Rey. I've been waiting to bring this one up, and I just feel like it just fits the vibe, and I could see it playing when they're making out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just kind of like a passionate moment between them, and I feel like it has to do with love. Like, will you still love me even when this happens?
You know the part of like The Great Gatsby when this like song's revealed and how beautiful it sounded? Yeah. I envision it like that.
I didn't want to be crazy, but I will bring it up. You have to listen to the DH orchestral version because that's the only one that I listen to.
Period. We'll put it on.
Okay.
Love it. The other ones that I have is one of them is also Lana Del Rey, is Violets for Roses. Now, I chose this song specifically for Violet's relationship with Bez Guyeth because she talks a lot about how she feels like she was numb and like she just has lost a lot of her like own personal emotion. And Violets for Roses obviously talks about how like you made me trade my violets for roses and you've made me like change this like into this whole different person type vibe. So I was like, I like that reflection that she and Violet, whatever. Yeah. And the last one I have is This Love by Taylor Swift. And I have just like a few little lyrics that I thought why, because the song kind of goes back and forth between like the good and the bad of a relationship. So it's like, this love is good, this love is bad, this love is alive back from the dead. And I feel like this has a lot to do with like Zayden's point of view. Like, even though that they're fighting, they're still working on it, and they're still like, they both do love each other, but they're just frustrated. So yeah, that's the ones I have.
Yay.
That's Final Jam.
That's Final Jam. Boom. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, folks, we've made it to the end of another episode. Thank you for getting through it with us. Thanks for tuning in. As always, if you guys enjoyed, please make sure to rate us on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I almost said Apple Music. And be sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, at Literally Obsessed Pod. We post there throughout the week if you want to see what we're up to.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Tune in for next week when we will go over chapters 13 through 17. 16. Whoa, can't do math. Anyway.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We will see you next week.
Love
Bye.
you.